Welcome back to Beyond the Box Score, your go-to destination for in-depth college basketball predictions. Today is Monday, December 1st, 2025, and we're diving deep into the best bets and angles for today's slate. Before we get into the new matchups, let's recap yesterday's results and see where we stand this season so far. Starting with the recap, it was a mixed bag again, going 3-3 overall. As always, some games went our way, and others were brutal due to late-game collapses or just plain bad performances. Our winners yesterday included UNCC Asheville, App State on the over, and West Virginia, while our losers were Quinnipiac, Yale, and Fresno State. Now, as always, before the recap, it's worth reminding everyone that supporting the channel keeps these daily breakdowns coming. Less than 25% of you watching are actually subscribed. If you find value in the analysis, if you enjoy the picks, and if you want to help the channel grow toward that 2,000 goal, right now sitting at 1161, hit that subscribe button. It takes 1 second and helps in a huge way. Let's start recap. UNCC Asheville minus 3.5. I doubled down on both the spread and the minus 115 moneyline, and it paid off. UNCC won 67-55 despite hitting just 3/18 from 3. App State shot 24% from deep, 47% from the line, and lost the rebounding battle 7-15. They won the turnover battle, but it didn't matter. UNCC controlled the game. Vermont vs Yale over 149.5, hit thanks to a wild last-second midcourt shot from Vermont, pushing the total to 151. Without it, both the Yale pick and the over would have failed. West Virginia minus 22.5, WVU 170-38. Their defense was solid, but offense was unimpressive, shooting 47% overall and 28% from 3. Mercyhurst's 1/8 free throw shooting and 15 turnovers helped. Star transfer Tracing Eagle staff continues to underperform, scoring double digits only twice in 8 games. Quinnipiac minus 14.5, best bet of the day, yet lost by a hook. Leading by 22 with 6 minutes left, they took starters out, letting Stonehill cover. Quinnipiac shot 48% from the field, 50% from deep, and won the turnover battle but lost rebounds. Frustrating finish. Yale minus 6.5, another letdown. Board control was weak, forced Vermont into 11 turnovers. Star Townsend underperformed, while bench player Riley Fox scored 23 points, impressive individually but not enough to cover. Fresno State minus 10.5, complete collapse. Led by 15 at one point, 6 at halftime, yet lost 76-71 to a Cal State Bakersfield team that hit 1/15 from 3. Fresno shot 37% overall and 79% from the line but failed to close it out at home. They're officially on the ban list for future betting consideration. Now, starting with today's earliest action, we have a truly unusual game. South Carolina State vs Chicago State. I know what you're thinking. Yes, it is December 1st, and remarkably, neither of these teams has recorded a win yet this season. That alone sets the stage for a bizarre betting environment. The over-under is sitting at 151, which has actually increased since the opening line of 149.5. Now, for context, both teams are combined 0-16. Not a single victory between them, yet the market is actively pushing the total higher. It's a perfect example of why betting markets can sometimes behave irrationally. South Carolina State comes in at 0-8, shooting just 38% from the field, averaging only 66 points per game, and facing their 4th consecutive road matchup. Expecting them to suddenly push totals near 75 points is unrealistic. Chicago State is also 0-8, and this is only their second home game of the season. Their scoring efficiency is equally poor, with subpar shooting percentages and limited offensive production. Given this context, the smart, data-driven play is clearly the under 151. Both teams struggle to consistently put the ball in the hoop, and the pace isn't fast enough to support the over. Next up, we have Cal Baptist taking plus 12.5 on the road against Colorado, another matchup worth close attention. This is a true road spot in Colorado, which normally might make me hesitant, but Cal Baptist has proven they can execute against strong opponents. They enter the game undefeated, just like Colorado, but with quality wins against UC Irvine, UC Riverside, and Oregon State. Their style is methodical and controlled, keeping games tight and forcing opponents to earn every point. They're a top 5 rebounding team nationally and excel on the offensive glass, which will allow them to generate extra possessions and offset any minor shooting inefficiencies. Comparatively, they average just 8 turnovers per game, 4 fewer than Colorado, giving them an edge in possession management. Meanwhile, Colorado, despite being 7-0 and averaging 90 points per game, has faced a relatively weak schedule, with Washington as their only high-major opponent. Tad Bowles' history at Colorado shows that while the team can compete, laying double-digit points on the road is historically unreliable. Expect this one to be competitive, possibly coming down to free throws in the final minutes. The line opened lower at 10 to 12 points and has already moved to 12.5. It could push even higher, so timing your wager here could add value. The next game is a 55-minute matchup, Temple vs Villanova, where I'm backing Temple plus 14.5. This is Kevin Willard's first year at Villanova after moving from Maryland, and while the program remains strong, there's still an adjustment period for him and his team. Villanova is heavily reliant on transfers, with just one returning player from last season, and is navigating new lineups, including 2 freshmen, one of whom is a European 21-year-old with professional experience. Temple, at 4-3, has demonstrated resilience and the ability to compete on the road, with solid wins over Princeton and Hofstra. Their primary strength is ball control, averaging just 8 turnovers per game. Shooting from deep remains a weakness at 31%, and rebounding is below average, but by slightly improving in those areas, Temple can hang in this game. Villanova, meanwhile, is 5-1 and has only lost on opening night to BYU. For a first true home game against a Philly 5 opponent, expecting Villanova to dominate by 14 points is overly optimistic. The spread plus Temple offers significant value, and the moneyline might even be viable for a bold play. Moving on to Iona at Delaware, I'm taking Iona minus 1.5 and the over 158.5. Iona has been a consistently strong MAAC team this season, entering this matchup at 5-2 overall and 1-0 on the road. Their style is fast-paced, emphasizing up-tempo transitions, perimeter shooting, and maximizing possessions. Delaware, by contrast, has struggled, including an early season loss to a Division II school at home. Iona's roster is experienced, with 4 seniors and 1 international freshman, while Delaware relies on a younger and less efficient lineup. Iona's scoring capability is significant. A 90-plus point performance is entirely plausible, while Delaware's low offensive efficiency and limited rebounding capacity make them unlikely to keep up. The line seems short given these disparities, so the Gales minus 1.5 and the over is a strategic play. Finally, we have Middle Tennessee plus 3.5 against UAB in Murfreesboro. Middle Tennessee is effectively receiving extra points with this spread, as I would personally have set them at minus 1.5 if lines allowed. UAB enters at 6-2 overall but 0-1 on the road, including a 24-point loss to NC State and a 3-point loss to Alabama State at home. Their road shooting efficiency is poor, 28% from 3 and 69% from the free throw line, and their ability to perform under pressure in a hostile environment is questionable. Middle Tennessee, 4-3, has faced strong opponents like Michigan and George Washington, beaten solid teams such as Murray State and Evansville, and returns 3 starters along with a Penn State transfer. They shoot 47% from the field and 36% from deep, giving them a competitive edge. This game is expected to be tight and may come down to the final possession, making the 3.5 points a valuable hedge for the home underdog. For today's almost bets, we're considering Tarleton plus 17 at Cincinnati, North Alabama plus 4.5 on the road at Jacksonville State, and Xavier minus 26.5 at home. Tarleton presents too much risk given Cincinnati's potential to respond after a home loss, so I'm passing. North Alabama offers reasonable value, as I don't see them being 4.5 points worse than Jacksonville State. Xavier, after early struggles, has regained form and is capable of covering the large spread against a weak FFU opponent. That wraps up today's slate of college basketball predictions. Remember, every pick is based on detailed statistical analysis, matchup evaluation, and situational context. If you want to stay ahead in the betting market and gain a competitive edge with expert insights, make sure to subscribe to Beyond the Box Score, hit the notification bell, and join our growing community of informed bettors. I'll see you in the next breakdown. Stay sharp, and thank you for watching.